Welcome to this video on writing custom code in NetSim. In this tutorial, we will explore how to modify protocol behavior in NetSim by writing custom code. Let's go through the key steps involved. To work with NetSim source code, you need Microsoft Visual Studio Community 2022. Follow these steps to install it. Download the Visual Studio Community 2022 setup from the official website. The setup file is small, so it should only take a few seconds to download. Once downloaded, run the installer. In the installation dashboard under Workloads, select Desktop Development with C++. Then, go to the Individual Components tab and check MSVC v140 vs 2015 C++ toolset for desktop. Click Install to begin the setup. The installation might take some time, depending on your system's processor and internet speed, as it involves downloading larger files. After successfully installing the Visual Studio setup, we'll now walk through the steps to modify NetSim source code. Before we begin modifying the code, let's first understand how to manage workspaces in NetSim. By default, NetSim's current workspace contains the original, unmodified source code. It's recommended to create a new workspace before making any code changes to preserve the default code. Here's how you can do that. Open NetSim and go to your work. Navigate to Manage Workspaces. Click on List of Workspaces to view all existing workspaces. To create a new workspace, click on Create a New Workspace, enter a name, and click OK. This will generate a fresh workspace with the default code. To switch between workspaces, go back to List of Workspaces. From the list, click the green checkmark next to the workspace you want to switch to, beside the Delete button. This will set the selected workspace as the active one. Now, let's move on to modifying the source code. Open NetSim, navigate to your work, and click Open Code. This will launch the C source code in Microsoft Visual Studio. Here, we'll walk through the key steps to modify the code, followed by a simple example to help you understand the process. Modify the necessary protocol code or add new files if required. Once modifications are made, compile the code. Create a network in NetSim or load an existing experiment that uses the modified protocol. Run the simulation. NetSim will execute based on the updated code. Note that the changes made to the source code apply only within the current workspace. Let's take a simple example of modifying the TCP source code in NetSim. In Visual Studio, open the Solution Explorer and double-click the TCP project. Open tcp.c file by double-clicking on it. Use the function drop-down menu to select fn netsim tcp init. Insert the following line inside the function to print Hello World during execution. Add _getch after the statement to pause execution until user input is received. Right-click on the project header in Visual Studio and select Rebuild. This process will generate a DLL file inside the bin folder of the current NetSim workspace. If the build succeeds, a confirmation message will appear. Users with older Visual Studio versions may encounter platform-related errors. Ensure correct settings are applied during compilation. Once the modified DLL is built, run the simulation via NetSim's GUI. Open NetSim and navigate to InternetWorks to access the simulation environment. Create a simple scenario. First, place a switch in the grid area. Next, add 2 wired nodes to the network. Connect both wired nodes to the switch using wired links. Configure CBR traffic from wired node 2 to wired node 3. Click on the application, then go to its Properties panel on the right side. Expand the properties, scroll down to Transport Protocol, and ensure it is set to TCP. Finally, run the simulation. Since we modified the TCP protocol, NetSim will display a warning message listing the modified DLL files in the bin folder. Press any key to continue, and you'll see Hello World printed in the console. Since we've used the _getch function, the simulation will pause and wait for user input. Once you press any key, the simulation will resume as normal. This warning message appears only when DLL files have been modified. If no changes are detected, it will not be shown. Any code modifications you make are limited to the current workspace only. They won't affect the code in other workspaces. Thank you for watching.